Well, I'll start with a correction. Last week I used the term intrepidation, which is not even a word, but what I meant was trepidation, the sense of foreboding I'm talking about. Like, what's it going to take for people to get it? So I just wanted to make that correction that I made up a word. Oh, and I was talking about James, the book of James in the New Testament Bible. It is chapter 3 where he talks about taming the tongue. I said 6, and there is no chapter 6 in the book of James. It only goes up to chapter 5. So Owen Schroyer went up to Portland and then to Berkeley, and they were all saying how well it was going, but in Berkeley they got into clashes. Owen, he left the prayer vigil to go rattle Satan's cages essentially, and with these people that were just vitriolic as all heck about Trump supporters, and just violent, hateful, and just almost comatose in their incoherency. They're overtaken by their hatred, and it's very sad. But it's not. I don't think the attention should have gone to them. He should have stayed at the prayer vigil and not done what he did. So anyhow, Alex Jones talks about, well, I'm trying to be a kamikaze pilot and trying to force their hand, and well, I mean, I've heard him also say that he uses these platforms because this is where the action is. This is where people go. This is where they want to go. So, I mean, it can't be both ways. Alex Jones's dad already told him, he said, look, son, you know what? I mean, you're over the top here and there. And he tried to just parent him a little. And Alex, I mean, he's stubborn as the day is long. The guy, I mean, he's got to understand that a lot of people really look up to him, and we need him to keep it together and not lose it. And if he needs some, he's got some mental health issues, nobody's going to hold it against him if he talks to a pastor or a counselor or a therapist or a psychologist, psychiatrist, whoever, a friend, I mean, somebody. But you've got to just, don't let your blood pressure make your head explode or something. Watch your health. And don't let these people get your goat so much. It's just in your heart and your mind, your spirit, and your body. I mean, watch your words. I mean, you just settle down a little bit. Try to stay cool, calm, and collected and affected, and just keep coping and contending. Because the people that respect you don't want anything bad to happen to you. The people that love you, that have a great regard for your courage and what you've done in exposing the evil in America, 9/11 and all this stuff. I mean, this is very important stuff, and you do a very courageous, dangerous job. And journalists are targeted because they're exposing people that sure as hell don't want to be exposed. Okay, so yeah, I mean, a lot of people really want Alex to succeed and keep succeeding. And I'm not talking about money here. I'm talking about just be a good guy, and you don't need to freak out. You really don't, to make your point. You don't need to go over the hill, over the top on these issues. Just try to keep it together and set a good example for your reporters, and you speak your truth quietly and clearly. I mean, just adopt a new attitude about the whole thing, because you really are blowing. It looks like we're scared. It looks like you're going to blow your pipes out, and people worry about you, and you say, well, don't worry about me. Well, listen, they can't help it. You understand? It's just like you telling your parents or your siblings or your children or anybody else that genuinely cares about you, don't worry about it. They worry about Alex Jones. And we want your mental health to get better so you can defend, okay, the Trump supporters rightfully, and with a sound mind, and coherently and calmly. People need to see you be able to be calm. You were calm with the Megyn Kelly interview. I see you can really, when the chips are down and you're trying, it looks like you can do it. But, whatever's going on in your life personally, if your viewers don't know, I mean, they don't know the stresses you're going through with your ex-wife. I mean, you do talk about it a little, but I mean, there might be stuff you need to talk to a counselor about, so that the public isn't, taken unawares and being the recipients of your frustrations that we don't deserve to be. what's going on in your personal life, because we all have personal problems. We all have issues. Anybody, the people that have the most acute mental health issues and other issues are those that don't acknowledge it first. They think, well, that can't be. Look at me, look at the stuff I've accomplished, look who I am, and all this. Well, that's not. Look. The paradoxes we have to contend with. Look, God knows you got mental health issues. That's why prayer is so important. We got to go to God. Of course you do. I mean, how in the hell am I supposed to hate my life in this world? Like Jesus said, look, this is the only way you can have eternal life. You got to get it. You got to understand this world's run by Satan. So you got to hate your life in this world. And then on the other hand, I'm supposed to be the most joy-filled, content, peaceful one on the face of the earth because I'm a believer. I trust in God, and I don't believe in death anymore. Death's been swallowed up in victory at the hands of Jesus. He proved it over and over. So we can trust God, and it's reliable, and there was witnesses and testimonials of trustworthy people, and got to trust somebody in life. So yeah, you know what? I just want I want the best for everybody, and certainly, I've been standing behind Alex Jones for a long time. I still got an Infowars.com bumper sticker on my car to this day. And we're closing in on a decade I've had that sticker on my car probably. And, I've never been vandalized. One guy asked me, about the sticker. He was interested, and I happened to have an extra one, and I gave it to him. But here in Northern California, it doesn't seem to draw much attention. I think that, he's due respect of somebody that sticks his neck out there and is courageous and is bold as a lion when it comes to, trying to uncover the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I don't think he understands economic issues nearly as well as he needs to really influence this country into the right direction and get other people to understand that our social and political and economic cohesion depends on all of us coming together, unifying for what's best. Even if we don't care about our current situation, think about the future. How long can this thing go on? This is Zimbabwe inflation in slow motion, which is the same as currency debasement. Cost of living inflation, currency debasement, just like a scale. Coin clipping anciently, same thing, currency debasement. Anti-progress, anti-capitalism, anti-humanity, anti-justice, anti-fairness. It's bad. It's really bad. It's a bad scene, and we're in it deep, folks. And God help us. I'm trying to have the fan blow on me and keep a page open at the same time. Miss Shedlock was on the Kaiser Report with Max Kaiser and Stacy Herbert, their husband and wife. Max is one lucky dude. Let's see. Miss Shedlock asked a hard question like no, Max. I was wishing that Max had asked him a hard question like, how to pay off this national debt, some ideas, to solve the problems. Because, that's what I'm all about. I'm all about let's talk the truth. Max used this term. What the hell was this term he used? I'd never heard it. Some a Gordian knot. And he didn't use one synonym, but it's a word. That's the first time I've ever in my life heard this term. But basically, it looks like this horrific problem that's overwhelming and inextricable, unsolvable, unfixable. And but if you step back and you do it logically and scientifically and mathematically, you just think it over, it really all becomes easy and falls into place. Maybe like a Rubik's Cube would be an allegory to how it is. Because I hate those things. I'm not good at doing those things. But that's how it is. That's what I try to explain. There's many simple solutions to solving our problems, to having turn this wealth and income disparity imbalance on its head, not by taking from others, but by allowing others to have. Do you understand? Setting people free gradually. Okay, we have made anti-progress my whole life. But you know what? I mean, people aren't talking about the hard questions. They're really not. And it bugs me. I see Harvey Levin on TMZ always, labeling Trump as racist for criticizing black people. But I mean, black people, it could be criticized just as much as anybody else. I mean, racists are racist. Racists can be black or brown or red or yellow, or anybody can be a racist. This whole idea that, and it's true that they are. It happens. White people are not the only ones that could be racist idiots. And that's what they are. They're racist idiots. So, I mean, he's calling Trump an idiot. I mean, if Trump is a racist, I'll eat my hat. I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I don't. I think he treats everybody the same. I sure do. And I want to believe he does. You got to trust somebody. So, I mean, him being labeled racist, to me, that's intellectually dishonest. That's my message to Harvey Levin at TMZ. I mean, I just don't buy it. I don't see it. How do you explain all the support he's getting, all the various black people out there that support him? Okay? All the Hispanic people, Asian people, all kinds of people support Trump for good reason. They like his policies. They think he's pro blue collar. They think he's honest. They think he's for America. Americans at large, the little guy, the working class, the poor. That's who believe in him. I've met a lot of poor people that like him, homeless people, even desperately poor people that think he's really starting to do things. They were paying attention during the campaigning and the election. Some of these people were able to vote, but if you don't have an address, I don't know how easy it is to vote. I don't know. They say that illegal aliens are allowed to vote now in California. It wouldn't surprise me. When I had my real estate license, I was told, hey, you better sell. If somebody's an illegal, undocumented person in America, you still are compelled under law, the laws, real estate laws, to sell to them. Those are the California laws. I don't know what other states are like. I wouldn't be surprised because, the Chamber of Communists is involved with Commerce, Freudian slip there, is involved in these policies. And their attitude is the more the merrier because it's all, supply and demand, and it puts a demand on things, and that's always good for business. People put a demand on stuff. Even if it means the debt increases, they don't care as long as they're not feeling the pinch. As long as they get a cost of living adjustment, a raise, they don't worry. They divorce themselves from their fellow human beings, the weaker ones. They deserve to perish as they're at. I mean, not that they even have to say it, but by their attitude, by their fruits, by their goings on. This is how these people are. I mean, it's so much evil in America now. So much ignorance and confusion. God help us. Trump's influential hotel was in the news, that he's profiting and I don't know what he's doing, this hotel, why they make such a big deal. But now they're not talking anything about how Bush and bin Laden and big oil and Saudi Arabia were all mixed up. Oh, no, that was no big deal. It's fine when Clinton's involved in this kind of crap, the Clinton Foundation, all this crap. No questions asked, and how Bill Clinton weaseled out of this Whitewater case, and why did he allow the Glass-Steagall Act to expire? What was his motivation for that? No, we're not going to, wonder these things. But, Trump going to this hotel with these influential people, and, they want to meet politicians and stuff. And, so there's colluding and there's collaboration and all this stuff. I mean, what's new under the sun? I mean, this stuff to politics, it's just a given. But yet they're making it look like it's a scandal. Everything he does is like underhanded, and it's bad for the country somehow. Being anti-establishment, this establishment that's going on this trajectory to hell for so long, 55 years that I know of, that I've been paying attention, and you're going to defend the establishment, the status quo, and you're going to condemn and alienate and demonize Donald Trump? I mean, God almighty. I mean, look, I had no regard for the man. He's a multi-billionaire. Who cares? So what? Being rich doesn't equate to being noble or being intelligent any more than being poor does. So, or being stupid for that matter. So, I didn't care. I wasn't happy that he was running at first. But then when he said, look, I'm ashamed of homelessness in America, I was on board. I said, that's it, man. He's got my vote. That's where I'm coming from. I'm ashamed of it. We're trying to set a shining light example for the rest of the world. Look what a crappy job we're doing. $50 billion a year we, the taxpayers, are spending on Section 8. And homelessness has increased. Unaffordable housing has increased. Gentrification has increased. And people don't get it. People with the intellectual prowess of Alex Jones don't seem to get it or don't want to get it. They rationalize. They justify their belief system. They think they're protecting their own interests by so doing. It's like putting a wall of stupidity or ignorance and confusion up and say, no, don't come in, don't burst my bubble. I got to believe that, this is the right path. Perpetual cost of living inflation, high housing costs are good. Boom, heat up the economy, get it going, and all this kind of crap. No, we need stability. We need to reverse the wealth imbalance.